Greetings, Stalkers, and welcome back to the Grymm Mansion. My name is Abominathan, your despised host, and I'm joined tonight and all nights by
Weird Eldridge. Ashamed to say I'm not a bioexorcist.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm just an exorcist.
Yeah. Wait, you're an exorcist? I thought you were a...
Well, I've performed many an exorcism. Just not officially by church. And probably not in the same way that they mean exorcism, but...
I think you mean... yeah. Semantics aside, tonight, going back to the 80s, wonderful time in my opinion.
1980s, to be clear.
Yes, the 1980s, of course. I mean, the 1880s were... I don't know if they were that great. They were fine, I guess. To what I would consider a classic, I think you would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Of this is a bit maybe not as horrific as most of the stuff that we... Yeah, but it is still... I would still classify it as... it still fits into our... the kind of stuff that we like to review. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, without further ado, let's talk about Beetlejuice.
Don't
speak
his name again.
Right, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Just do the ritual.
Okay.
Do the ritual.
We have to talk about him. How are we going to refer to him if we can't say his name?
We'll find a way.
Okay. So the candles are lit, the circles have been closed, and the words of power have been recited. Let us begin tonight's gathering. This movie
that for safety reasons we are not allowed to say the name of.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but I could get behind that.
It's better than the alternative. Last time we played this game, we had the clown in our doorstep.
Exactly. We have to be careful here, and it's just, precautions. We take the safety of our possessions very seriously.
For a moment there, I thought you were going to say the safety of our thralls, and I was about to burst
Yeah. That would be that would be a stretch. So this movie is weird.
Wow, what isn't?
True. It begins. I don't really know how else to. I think we should just jump into it, right?
Yeah. I guess it's a cozy couple in a cozy town who do cozy, happy couple things. It's actually the first 5 minutes of the movie make me puke horribly. Yeah, but once we're past the initial nausea, they die, and that's where things get interesting.
Yeah. So they live just to add a little bit more context. Yeah. So they live in a very... Honestly, I don't know what to think of their tastes in architecture personally, but it looks to be a very valuable house atop of a hill in a small town. And for whatever reason, I think his name is Adam, the husband. Uh-huh. He has a model of the entire town that he's been working on for a while now in the attic of the house. And so yeah, as you said, they die in car crash.
Yeah, they're trying to they swerve out of the bridge, and the bridge even has a wooden box around it, and they drive right through it, and they drown.
Yeah. For the first few minutes, as usual with the afterlife, they aren't really aware that they're dead yet.
It's normal, again, perfectly understandable. Mm-hmm. The first few moments are of shock.
When they start to realize that they are flammable, they
feel no pain.
They don't have a reflection, stuff like that.
And I'll try to leave the house, and it seems like they're in a moon of Saturn.
Yeah, so whenever they try to leave the house, they're teleported to this desert with, I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it's like, it's not trees, but it's some weird things. And a snake, a worm thing.
Yeah, a sandworm.
Yeah. Almost like Arrakis.
Yeah. But for some reason, I have this idea of Saturn.
Yeah. I think they actually mentioned that later in the movie.
Possibly.
Yeah. So they can't leave. Their spirit is stuck to this house for some reason.
Thankfully, they have a handy guide that is going to tell them all about how to live, whatever you prefer there, in the afterlife, which is the handbook for the recently deceased. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, correct. While they are dealing with this realization, right, so there was I believe it was a friend of theirs or a family member, I'm not sure, Jane, who wanted to sell their house. Obviously, they were rejecting it because their life was fine before they died. But now that the house has been, freed, Jane managed to sell it to another family.
The Deetes. The Deetes. A very peculiar family. They're like bargain bin Adams.
Yes. Discount Adams family.
Bootleg Adams family.
Bootleg, yeah.
Anyway, obviously Adam and Barbara are very upset and they don't want to part with their house. They still feel like they're alive somehow. But being conscious that they're dead, they try to scare the Deetes away. Like with regular ghost like they appear headless or
hanging, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But apparently the Deetes can't see them. So I'm not entirely sure of the names. I think the wife is called Delia, and they have
it's implied that she is actually Charles's second wife.
Exactly. Yeah. So Charles has a daughter named Lydia,
who calls Delia stepmom.
Exactly. And Lydia is a very interesting character. We'll get to her later.
Well, little Wednesday.
Adam and Barbara, they decide to draw the door on the wall, which was part of the...
Oh, it was in the manual. If they needed help to draw a door.
Yeah, they drew a door and they travel to the other side, I guess. They're in a reception, or what it looks like to be sort of a waiting room.
A waiting room, yeah.
With a bunch of dead people.
Oh, and all sorts of manners. There's one of those ticket thingies with the number that they're on. And if I remember correctly, they had a very large number, like a comedically large number.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
They somehow eventually get to talk to the lady up front, and
Juno, I believe.
No, that's their caseworker. But yeah, that's skipping ahead.
Okay.
It's pointless anyway. Juno is their caseworker, and they're trying to understand how can they kick the Deetes out of their own house, because they apparently can't read a lot, and their attention span has been completely destroyed by the phones and shit. So they can pick up a book and read it from beginning to end because Juno gives them some lip about it, I guess.
This movie was ahead of its time.
But then they remember a little commercial that they saw before coming here. A commercial for something called a bioexorcist. And that's exactly when Juno's like, shut up, say nothing, mention nothing, don't even talk to that guy, don't even say his name. You don't want the trouble that what did he call him? For some reason, he can't write his own name. He probably is cursed with a gaze to not be able to say or write his own name, so people can't say it and summon him.
True. For a second, I heard he's cursed with the gaze. That's what I heard.
I will put you in the gaze if you keep that up.
Sorry. Hey, it came out. It came out.
Betelgeuse, right? Betelgeuse.
Something like that, yeah.
And so Juno tells him, don't contact Betelgeuse, you should, it's going to be even more trouble than you do. And plus, this is only for 125 years, right? You guys can handle this. It's easy. 125 years as ghosts, it's nothing compared to the eternity that awaits you.
True. There's a very funny situation that happens in which they are trying their best. Barbara and Adam are trying their best to scare the Dietzes themselves. They start doing a bunch of ghost sounds, and they put sheets over themselves to try and scare. Right, it was like moan harder, trying to scare Delia, who was sleeping. Lydia.
Oh boy.
And by the way, this wasn't it wasn't as effective as they thought it was. So they try to scare her, and she just turns around and sleeps in the other position. And Lydia is on the other room and is basically thinks that it's their parents having sex. It's really funny the way she's like banging on the wall saying, "Hey, I'm a child." And then she comes out and sees the two wearing the sheets and takes pictures of them, thinking that it's her parents. And by the way, actually, we forgot to mention that Lydia, like many scenes ago, like when they had arrived at the house.
She took a picture and she saw them on the window. It was a small detail.
Yeah, but it was established that Lydia can see them.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only person who can see them, apparently. And so when she takes a picture of them, she sees that in the picture they have no feet. Only the sheets are visible. And yet she can see the feet in real life. So she's really curious. Instead of getting scared, she's like, "Huh, are you like all gory under there?" Like she's genuinely curious as to what they look like. And they take the sheets off and they're normal looking.
Normal. Mm-hmm.
And so they ask her why she's the only person who can see them. And her explanation, I might not get this quote right, but her explanation is that humans are very bad at seeing or can't see the strange and unusual, but she herself is strange and unusual.
Something to that effect, yeah.
And so now they explain to Lydia their situation. And Lydia seems to be genuinely empathizes with them, with their situation, and actually seems to want to help. They had already entered, or she had already entered, using the skeleton key, their attic, so she already knew of the book that they had. And eventually this book gets like stolen. There's a whole situation that happens. Yeah, so Lydia's in her helps in their quest to scare the Dietzes. It leads up to a very interesting scene in which they are they're all, so the family and plus a few other friends had been invited to a dinner. I believe Lydia had already tried to convince or try to tell her parents that there were ghosts in the attic. And well, when they go to the attic, they don't see anything. There's nothing. They do see the model of the town, which is interesting, but they don't really seem to mind it too much. Or actually, no, it does increase the value of the house for some reason. It's because there's a whole like subplot going on with an agency that they want to make a deal with. I honestly didn't really get the details very well of
the guy wants to come here and transform this little town into like essentially I don't know if gentrified is the right word, but he wants to build like a shopping mall. I remember that this is the 80s, so like it's all the rage.
Yeah, yeah.
But the idea really is that no matter what happens, that the Maitlands are trying to use as a tactic to scare the Dietzes is not working, is backfiring. You were going to talk about the dinner.
Right. So it's a very interesting scene in which they're all, they're dining with the, I think it's their friends or some people that they want to make a deal with. And suddenly, Delia starts singing like a like one of those,
Gramophone.
right, like one of those gramophones had been connected to her throat or something.
She's just a mouthpiece. Her lips are moving, but the voice of the recording is coming through it.
And it's clear that her movements aren't willing. She's being controlled by something.
Her
And then
expression doesn't match what it's coming out of her mouth.
yeah,
And what her body's doing.
And slowly but surely, the rest of the people who are in sitting at the table start also dancing. Yeah, just dancing to the song. I'm not entirely sure what the song is. I didn't recognize it, unfortunately. But this happens for a couple minutes, and once it's finished, Adam.
And mind you, it culminates in all of their faces getting grabbed by a hand coming off their bowls of soup or whatever the.
Yep,
and it pulls them all back. This was supposed to be a scary thing, and they're looking for ways to monetize it.
Yes, exactly. It completely backfires. This is when they decide to call a Beetlejuice.
Damn it!
No. I will not do that again.
What's up with you?
My bad. My bad.
Do you need a break? Do we need to pause this?
Yeah,
Okay, you know what, Thralls, bring me a cold sparkling water. We'll be right back. All right. Everything okay? Can we go back?
Yes. I'm focused. I'm energized. Let's go.
Let's go.
Where we were. So, they decide to call
Betelgeuse.
Or Betelgeuse.
What did you call him?
Bugmusk?
Bugmusk?
Yeah, because why not? You know, it's isn't that what it also kind of? It's yeah. I'm trying.
All right. No,
all right?
let's okay. Oh, I'll accept it. I'll accept it.
And what essentially happens is they are transported into the model that Adam had created in the attic. They have to so they're turned to the size that a person would be in that model. And they look around and they're in the graveyard. And there's a neon sign in one of the gravestones with the name that we can't say, pointing down. And
name repeated 3 times too.
Yes, and there's 2 shovels that sends the message, and they dig. And they dig up the guy.
Funnily enough, the coffin one has the correct name, the correct spelling.
Yeah, it's interesting the spelling. We can talk about that later. So they open the coffin, and yeah, they liberate the guy. And this is a character that is very unique, I would say, and I don't think would be approved in the modern cinema experience. I think this is it's quite risque, I would say. He is extremely dirty-minded. He has absolutely 0 filters, let's say it like that. He tries to make a deal with them. He is super excited because I mean, we don't know for how long he's been here, right?
A long time, it seems.
Yeah, so he is so excited that somebody finally dug him up and contacted him. And so, yeah, he wants to make a deal. Adam asks him, what are your qualifications? Right, because he even like sexually assaults his wife at some point.
Barbara. Mm-hmm.
Barbara. And Adam asks him, what are your qualifications? And he says something to the effect of like, I've been to Harvard. I went through the Black Plague and I had a great time through that. I watched The Exorcist 172 times and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Stuff like that. Basically, they decide to just not turn him in on the offer. because he's just way too weird. He's just way too much of a problem. So they just leave. They just say home 3 times, and apparently that works. And they are transported back out of the model back to the attic. And of course, the guy is very upset. The Betelgeuse, as you say.
Yeah, they promptly leave, as they should. I mean, again, I understand the guy.
Yeah, I would be really, really pissed too if somebody woke me up only to turn me down.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we're on the same page. Cool. Yes, exactly. I agree with you. These Metlans are assholes.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me continue. Pick up where you left off. They're trying to monetize the entire thing, as we were saying. They want to get the big fish, big shark, here to the town. And in the meantime, Juno, the caseworker, calls Barbara and Adam back and admonishes them for doing what they did. Lydia...
Yeah, this part is
kind of...
Because basically they decide to, I guess, stop interacting with the Dietzes. Basically, they decide to ghost them.
We're waiting all night to say that.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Yeah, because obviously they don't want to be turned into an attraction, especially for the people that just destroyed their house completely.
Yep.
So completely understandable. Lydia is sad that she essentially lost the only people that, despite being dead, contacted or felt more in touch with.
Yep. Her friends. Her only real friends. And
this is when Dunkbox realizes that he is in love. As soon as he sees Lydia, it's love on first sight. And this is what I meant with like, so this is now his object of obsession. But it's not to kill. No, he wants to marry her. Yes, let's keep it PG-13. The movie said the same. So yeah, let's go with marry. That's definitely what he wants to do.
Yes, keep the same messaging that the movie is trying to.
And he almost tricks Lydia into
saying his name 3 times.
Yes, like
she actually struggles to it because he can't say his name, so he tries to use like hallucinations to get her to say the name.
It's Rebus, right?
Rebus?
A puzzle that uses like images.
Oh, right. And she actually struggles to figure out what the actual name is for a while, but then she doesn't say it 3 times because she's smart. Adam and Barbara, I guess in a desperate attempt, they called him 3 times.
Didn't we say that?
For him to scare the shit out of the Dietzes. And he did so. Or maybe, wait, no. No. Because, honestly, this part is kind of confusing because he shows up without them calling him. I guess it's because they forgot to unsummon him. That's what my headcanon is. They forgot to unsummon him, so when he found an opportunity, he scared the shit out of
the snake and the snake. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And that's when they put him back, and they essentially lock him back inside the model. And then that's when Lydia, when the scene happens, and she realizes he was the one that caused that, because he almost killed her father. So yeah, that wasn't very nice to her. I mean,
but yeah, he's trapped again in the town model, and Lydia doesn't let him go so easily. Or the Adam and Barbara come back and don't let her talk to him anymore.
It's strange because the next thing that happens is the Dietzes decide to make
The big shark is coming to town.
Right, and the guy I forget his name, but
Maxi.
no, I
Wait,
mean
whose name?
the guy who is like I don't understand. He's kind of like I don't know if he's an uncle or something. It's the guy who then steals the book.
Oh, Otho. Who is Otho?
Otho, there we go. So he decides that what they should do is they should do a seance to summon the ghosts so they can talk to them.
Yeah, force them into coming here and prove that
Right, because there's a lot of
to the
money.
big shark that the ghosts are real.
Yeah. So they grab their wedding clothes.
The only thing that the guy left from the original place was these wedding. Like they were also foreshadowed at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Yeah, so they grab these wedding clothes and they begin the seance. And while Otho is doing this, the Barbara and Adam start to disintegrate from their ghostly selves and begin to emerge inside their clothes, their wedding clothes that are on the table, and they rise, but they are slowly decaying visibly as this happens.
Slowly or rapidly, depending on who you ask.
True, rapidly, yes, decaying rapidly. Time is relative, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Especially for the Maitlands, right?
Mm-hmm. And well, Lydia sees this and is horrified, and so she goes back to the guy.
Trolls, grab the shotgun, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Good call. And she begs him essentially for him to do something to save them. And he says, "I will. If you marry me, I can save them." In an act of desperation, Lydia accepts and says his name 3 times. And he's like, "It's showtime, baby." And he is released and does, yeah, it's insanity that ensues. So the Dietzes, Delia had these, she has a very specific taste in art, which I can appreciate. She has these sculptures that are like sort of abstract, I guess. They come to life, obviously, and they start attacking them. It's just insanity. Technically, he does manage to break Adam and Barbara from this terrible situation that they were in. But now there's a new problem, which is
he wants to fulfill his part of the bargain. He wants them to fulfill their part of the bargain.
Exactly. So he gets I don't remember what he gets to be hit.
Well, it doesn't matter. He gets an efficient.
Yeah, to say the vow, and he of course says the vow for Lydia, using the possession and stuff like that. Barbara tries to say his name 3 times, and each time the first 2 times he
manages to shut people up, like he's breaking reality at this point.
Yeah, he's complete reality bender. So seeing that she's really intent on saying that, he teleports her back into the Arrakis like dimension with the worm creature after her. He gets because he forgot the ring, so he takes out the ring, and the ring is still coming attached to the finger of her previous marriage, or previous wife, I guess, a previous bride, so that he can put the ring in Lydia's finger. Just as he's doing this, Barbara manages to ride the snake worm creature inside the house, and it eats him alive, or shouldn't say alive because I don't know if he's alive, but eats him and kills him, and that's how that situation's solved.
He's banished back to the afterlife, and from that moment on, both live and dead decide to live happily ever after, with the Maitlands essentially raising Lydia as their own daughter, and the Dietzes doing what they do best and monetizing everything under capitalism. We see Beetlejuice getting sent to the afterlife with another comedically large number on his ticket. And the movie ends with him doing a little sleight of hand and trading his number with the next person's number, but he gets promptly shut down and his head is shrunken. Well, his head is shrunk. You know, the shrunken heads, whatever.
Yeah, it was I think that was set up before. The guy next to him also had a shrunken head.
Well, I don't know.
Right, so what is there to say? It's an interesting take on the afterlife, I have to say.
I'm not really sure what kind of interpretation can we make, like, because if we take the movie at face value and don't think too much about, for example, the character of Lydia, who is a child so desperately lonely that she sees ghosts.
Yeah.
And you can interpret the ghosts as being, you know, initially Adam and Barbara as being replacements for mom and dad, the perfect family, and then Beetlejuice being herself, who destroys completely the. Yeah, sorry, I slipped. And then and then Michael Keaton's character being herself, and essentially culminating in the destruction of the house, which could be, I don't want to say her suicide, but, you know, we can look at the ending as when everyone's living happily ever after, like as the parents realizing that their child is a little different but they're going to love her all the same. I think it's too much. I think the movie is just supposed to be a fun little movie with references to other stuff, like you were mentioning Arrakis, with the sandworms, and
this is like a fever dream, to be honest. It feels like that. It's kind of silly. It's very silly. Like, to be honest, like from a narrative, from like a narrative standpoint, it's just full of nonsense. And it just, the movie isn't even trying to make sense at some point. Like with the way that they resolve the situation in the end, that was complete Deus Ex Machina, because that was completely pulled out of the ass. Like, why does the sandworm do that? Like, how can it do that? And also, like the rules aren't, they're not even broken because they're not even established. So, I don't know. Because it's not that kind of movie, I guess. Like, you're not supposed to. It's kind of
some movies are just supposed to be like fun, enjoyable movies.
Yeah, it's what it is. It feels kind of like
this is a character that we can relate to. So,
true. But it is almost like kind of like a children's movie in a way. Like, the tone feels kind of childish, but at the same time, it's very dark.
Yeah, it deals with a lot of adult themes.
Yeah,
maybe perhaps it's one of those movies that you, together with stuff like Addams Family, you could show to a child who's becoming a certain age and realizing that they're a little bit different from the other kids. Who don't make too many friends.
Join us.
You're always free. I mean, not exactly free, it costs your soul, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's a nice propaganda for our
honestly, you know
purposes.
What? It's a great movie to watch now that summer is beginning and we don't have a lot of nighttime. And we just want to watch something quick and then catch as most of night that we can, and still enjoy Carpe Noctis. You know how we go.
Yep.
You know what it do. So yeah, it's perfect for this time of the year. I agree.
Indeed.
Well, they made a sequel. In there, I guess that's where they confirmed that the planet is a moon of Saturn.
Oh, okay. No, he does mention in the first scene where he shows up. He does mention that he hates Saturn, and that was kind of random. And I guess that was the reference.
Oh, maybe. I didn't. I don't remember that, but that's possibly it.
He does, yeah, he does mention it. I think it's that's where it comes from.
Okay. Cool. You go on. You write the movie. You close the ritual.
Right. Okay.
I need to go out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me think. I will rate Beetlejuice. Oh. Oh no.
It's showtime, baby.
The candles are out. The circles have been closed, and let's illustrate again. The Grymm Mansion is closing its gates, and we'll see you next time. We are so sorry.
Ooh, nice cat you got there. Is that your cat? Are you gonna eat that? You know how much I love pussy.